Barry, you work in social media and creative digital every day. What's the most effective form of social media in your view?
Really, it depends on the client's situation and their needs. We don't come into an engagement thinking that we definitely are going to launch a Twitter feed for them or we're going to create a Facebook page. We use a process called digital behavior modeling, and what we do is we take a look at the total subject area that they're trying to gain a presence in, and we break that down into keywords because today it's a search-based world. I mean, anything that you want to know, you're going to turn to Google first or some other search engine to find it. So we really start there. We break down that client's issues into specific keywords and up to 100 or so keywords. And then what we do is we build that back up by finding where are those communities that those subjects are being talked about most. It's not always the same. In the art or creative community, it might be Flickr because that's a great place for sharing images. It might be on Twitter based on the type of, if it's in an entertainment field or something like that. But it might be a place like Wikipedia if it's a science area where there's a build out of a lot of science activity. So it really depends on what the client's trying to achieve. And what we normally do is build this total map for them, which is a guide for them to be able to use for the rest of their time, and it's not a static document, it winds up living, where we add on things based upon the actual behavior within the organization. So is it authentic, and can we grow it out in different ways? And that's what we do.
Barry, I know that social media is changing almost every day. But if you had a crystal ball, what would you say the direction of social media is moving, especially from the agency perspective?
I think what you're going to find is that the time for experimentation is quickly becoming over, and that now what you're going to turn to is that clients are going to want to see when they go back for that second year's budget. They got away with doing something because it was novel or neat, but when they go back again to justify their budget, they're going to need to tie it back to metrics that really roll up to the bottom line. What is the true ROI on that? And what we're going to find is that the firms that wind up having metrics built into from the beginning of what they do and being able to move the needle on those are going to be the ones that are doing what truly is social media instead of a novel idea, things that start from the client need and wind up affecting that need in some way, in a positive way.
So Barry, Widmeyer has a fabulous new website, and it's pretty new. What was the impetus for creating that, and how is Widmeyer using social media to promote the agency?
Well, I think our last website was somewhat corporate, and the one thing that when you're buying an agency or turning to a public relations agency, you're really buying the people themselves. So what we wanted to do was focus on the people. So I think what you'll notice on the site is that everything is driven from the people in the firm. So whether it's an article, a news article, or a post even, or a blog entry on our blog, it's all coming from a person. Somebody has been doing that, and it's clear that you can start to see actually what over time people are doing. So if you click down to the people pages or things like that, you can see what activities these people have been going through, what social networks they're using, and get a taste for them before we even make an introduction to a firm. They can kind of know who we are.
Thank you for letting me interview you today, Barry. I learned so much about social media.
Well, it's been great. Thanks for having me on.